Yeah. All right. Hey, guys. We're live. This is just a sort of after-action yapping show. It'll be a bit about
Yep.
RPGs, a bit about maybe Pathfinder specifically, and then, just open Q&A for you guys showing up here. Hey, Neo Calder. Hey, Uriah. Hey, Yekrep. And whoever else is watching out there live.
Thank you
Or
for joining. Super glad to see the familiar faces. I know Neo Calendar. He's a big fan of your channel. He's always around.
I know. Late night streams, we'll see him pop in or
Is
early
he
in the
like a
morning.
buddy, like local,
No,
or
no. He just wandered over, and we had we are like-minded on Pathfinder First Edition
ah?
and on Pathfinder Second Edition. So, uh,
All right.
hey, Elf Hunter, another guy that's always around here.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit about YouTube, so I had like one
Yeah,
final thought. Since I thought like, oh, we don't have to hide everything from the audience.
right.
I am being very conscious of saying and like losing my train of thought on
Mm-hmm.
camera, which is why I really enjoy talk shows with another guy on the camera, because if I stare at my monitor, I just see myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
basically distract myself almost. It would
Yeah.
almost be better if I like turned the monitor off and talk to the camera. And
Oh, dude.
if my
Well,
mind wanders, then I can look down at my notes
yeah, the
and
video
catch
I
myself.
filmed yesterday, the content I think is pretty solid as a sword review goes. And then I look and I'm going, oh my God, I'm driving myself nuts because I did comb my hair and then I walk outside and the Oklahoma wind just catches like one strand of hair that's hanging out like crap. And I'm like, oh my God, this is driving me nuts. But I'm
Yeah,
glad I didn't see it because it would have been distracting.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's nice. Okay, how do I stop myself from and all the time?
Right.
Because it's just like fillers, like, and also saying like all the
Mm-hmm.
time. Simple things that make for more appealing watching on YouTube. To get
Mm-hmm.
rid of those means, okay, I need something to help me focus on the topic. And it really helps to have somebody on stream like Tyler, so I can talk with you and talk back and forth. After the role playing game, we talked for a good hour, and it was just so easy to hop from topic to topic. It comes to me so easily. If I
Yeah.
had to do like a post game review solo, make a YouTube video about it,
Mm.
I would be so lost in my own head. I wouldn't be able to form a sentence, honestly.
Right. And that's also like a really good like when we say vet your players, some people make like a huge deal out of that where it's like it's not that easy. It's literally just vet your players, find somebody you can have a 30-minute conversation with.
Yeah,
That you don't need to have a prepared thing, you don't need to have like you don't need to be forced to be in the same room. Just find somebody that you can sit down and talk to at
yeah.
length.
Like, can they hold a conversation?
Right.
Not just have opinions, but be
Right.
open and listen to you. Like, have this back and forth, this dialogue.
Yeah.
Literally just that.
Yeah. Well, and even just good conversationalists, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the industry I'm in, hospitality, bartending. You have conversations with people and you pick up really quickly the guy that is, he's here. What beer do you have? What's a good cigar? And then his mouth is shut. All right. Maybe he's a great role player, but from this interaction, I don't see it, right? It's just not there. Then you have other guys that are, oh man, you guys carry bullet tenure. Bullet tenure is really hard to find. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then we start talking about bourbon allocation. And then we start talking about, oh, my favorite bourbon is this. I remember this experience that I had when I was drinking this bourbon. And we bounce off each other back and forth. And we, as we say, solve the world's problems in the bar.
You really need to, well, need is a strong word, but you have to be open to some level. If you're always guarded, like, what do they think? What if I say the wrong word? What if I embarrass myself? Or, what if they don't like me?
It's
It's not gonna go anywhere.
it's my biggest failing as a GM and a role player, I think, because I overthink what I'm going to say. And I've mentioned it about 4D before, where I overthink. am I going to be stepping on toes here? Should I just, and I should just do the thing. Because then
Yeah.
by the time the words come out, I'm doing the old, it sort of kind of appears so maybe.
And you say words, but they have no meaning behind it
Right.
at
Exactly.
that time.
Yeah.
Which very very interestingly, we talked about the quarry in our Pathfinder game that just concluded last hour, and I brought it up. It's like you brought it up. Well, it has like a sentence what the quarry looks like. It's in
Right.
a swamp.
And there's no pictures either, so
There's
you're
no
just like,
pictures.
ah.
And
That's
I'm imagining, okay, swamp-like region.
Yeah.
I forgot that it didn't used to be a swamp.
right.
So I'm thinking, why is there a quarry in a swamp, and how does it look like? It makes no sense to me. Why it should exist? So I prodded you for
Yeah.
like a look around if there's a hillside that the quarry is like planted against, like either like chipping away at a mountain to get to the stone, to like what is the geographical landscape of a quarry? Is it just a big hole? Also, how big is the hole? The town's
Yeah.
tiny. Then you described it 1,000 feet wide. It's like,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. Like, okay, we see the kobolds have spotted us, and they're so far away. Like, if we just run towards them, they will pepper us with arrows for like 5 rounds or something before we reach them. So I have, and that really helped me to change my entire perspective of how to imagine the scene.
Yeah. Well, and I started thinking about it after the fact, where I was like, oh yeah, I'm from the southern United States. I've been to Florida. There's a ton of flat, big limestone areas because the Everglades weren't always a swamp. So I was like, oh, this is immediately. I forget. Oh yeah, the southern United States is an incredibly unique geographical region. It's not everyone's going to immediately go, ah, yes, the Everglades, but so the cultural and geographical differences we have in real life and our real lived experiences are. It's interesting how those differences pop up, because this is the first time I've role played with anyone from overseas. And I'm role playing with 3 people from overseas at the same time. So,
Yeah.
wish I could relate more to your bartending. Not so interested in alcohol, but I tried a Pilsner today. My dad brewed for the holidays. That's awesome. I'd love to do more home brewing. I've made a ginger beer. I've never brewed just a standard wheat beer, but it's a fun thing. Realistically, I only have about 1 drink a week. I don't drink very often. I just really enjoy the environment of a high class bar. If you work in like a dive bar or a college bar, yeah, you just deal with annoying drunk people all the time. But if you working in a cigar lounge, it brings in a different kind of customer.
I guess for me, I can speak from my experience. It wards off of me ever entering, because I'm just thinking, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't wear a suit. I don't smoke cigars.
Oh.
If I would like walk in, I would immediately feel out of place. And everything about it's like, why even walk in the first place? So I just never do those kind of things.
Right. And some are better than others. Like ours doesn't have a seating fee or a cutting fee or a dress code or anything like that. Like if you go to if you went to like Burn in Oklahoma City, which is about an hour drive from us, yeah, they have a dress code, and you're expected to, if not be in a full suit, at least, button up, slacks, well groomed. Wear more like
a shirt, a button shirt, or with sleeves or something like that.
There people show up and we've got insurance broker millionaires showing up with shorts and a t-shirt. Like it's a lounge. Okay. You're meant to be comfortable here, right? But
yeah,
you're also not going to be getting plastered on Long Island iced teas here. It's somewhere in the middle.
It's right? Always these things like you're supposed to be comfortable, and everyone around you who also comes in. Right. So you need to find the line of what audience do we court. Mm-hmm. If we only do suit and tie, then we might get like some posh people to feel comfortable enough to show up here, because people are not gonna be in their what do you say? Well, in their t-shirts with some lewd metal band depicted on it or something.
But
You
likewise,
would know better than me. I'm making the
well,
assumptions here.
no, that's a good mention. We will occasionally, not very often, but occasionally have to go to customers that are having your usual college or dive bar conversations about, whoa, did you see the tits on that lady? And they're talking a little loud, and you just have to walk over to them and go, guys, you don't have to stop the conversation, but can you keep it down a little bit? You're in polite company. And then motion to the husband and wife that are having a cigar and sipping on $40 a shot whiskey over there that don't exactly want to hear that, right?
Yeah, like how do we clue them in without making a scene out of it,
Right.
without making them too
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but
Right.
aware, right?
Just being like, it's not that kind of bar, guys. Let's
Social awareness is also such a big topic for role-playing games too.
right. And when there's even when there's alcohol involved, we get the aspect of, you drink a little bit, you start getting louder, and you're not realizing you're getting louder.
You might also be like, I'm cutting into what the other guy's doing in his session to like announce that I throwing in a joke while he's having this conversation with another character.
Yeah, exactly. Where you have to be aware of when it's okay to have a little bit of a comedic tone and cut in. And on the topic of anime earlier, I think it's something that really puts people on or off anime in general is the Japanese sense of humor can be very jarring. Like you can have these very serious scenes that are all of a sudden just like comedic relief out of nowhere, and you're like, what? What emotion are you trying to get me to feel right now? Because if it was confusion, you've succeeded. So
anime have a tough job because I can see it that that animators evolved out of, well, animation costs a lot of money, so it helps if you have a comedic scene to have it more loose, more the chibi style, more sketchy. To express emotion, it doesn't need to be perfect, look perfect on the style. So we have a more cartoonish style to express the emotion better. So now they are achieving a different goal. When they switch from serious to chibi, it needs to fit in the anime itself. So not just does it look out of place as a media, but in the genre of anime, does it look out of place in the genre? We know with Berserk, it doesn't animate chibi anything except for the fairy, which gets it sometimes. And even then it fits because it is a comedy relief character, but the fairy is played seriously in this grimdark world of Berserk.
Right, you believe that this fantastical creature could exist like this, right?
Yes.
And not that it's you're not asking a lot of questions as to like, okay, but why would, like, oh no, it's a fairy, obviously, duh.
Whimsical fairies exist. Not just that, but the adults cannot see, like some adults, they cannot see the fairies because they are whimsical. It's like the hardness, they don't realize it. The first episode is like, well, the fairies is about to get killed just to be a dartboard. So why is the fairy alive in this grim dark serious world? Well, Berserk literally shows up and accidentally saves it. It's like he didn't like it because those people are assholes. I forget. I think he was trying to pick a fight too. Guts in that moment.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it also answered the question in the first episode. Well, there was like this demon monster that seduced Guts, right? And maybe my memory is wrong, but there were like also fairy-like creatures that were kind of gotten twisted too by the demons or something like that. So it's not like they're all whimsical.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you can see the fairies, you got soft hands, brother.
Got soft hands.
I work 80 hours a goddamn day. How about Fist of the North Star? Fist of the North Star is fucking awesome. It has been years since, or probably 10 years since I've
You
watched
will explode in 10
Fist of the North
seconds.
Star.
What? No way. And then he explodes. It's like,
But you know, it's a very serious post-apocalypse show,
yeah.
and then you have, you know, the brief moments of like, you call throwing dynamite a martial art? Hey, if it works. So you have these brief moments of levity of.
I think I watched like 3 episodes, and I like the character dynamics, and I love the animation. I really just love how punk rock they were in Japan, of like how characters look, all the wild styles, the 80s aesthetic. I just love it. Oh yeah, it's so good. Is it 80s? I might get the time wrong. It might be older. It might be.
Is 83. Yep, 83.
Yeah. Another one that I like is called Armor Hunter Mellow Link.
Yeah. Oh man, Votoms in general is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Votoms.
I'm so happy that you recognize the name, because when I saw that anime, I was like, wait, I never even heard of this, and I've been watching anime for 20 years. But it just looks awesome. The whole 80s style, people go out there dancing, dance clubs everywhere, and mech robots being used for like a gladiatorial arena at parts, like in some places in the city, and the character itself being part of an infantry troop to kill mechs with the one big gun as a, oh, you're the Hail Mary group. Survival not guaranteed. Like, don't count on it.
It's and you can take a lot of that stuff from Tron Nemesis. You can take a lot of stuff from these shows of like, why would this be the case? Hang on, why are we sending in this little adventuring crew? And it's like, well, hang on, think about it. You might not have the resources. What, you know, why wouldn't you just carry it? If there are guns in the universe, why wouldn't you just carry it? Well, maybe they don't have
why
the money.
Wouldn't you have the resources? Oh, there's a political ploy in place to manipulate the resources, and you just ended up being double crossed because it's easier. Like, if you know the secrets, you have a bit too much information, and we need a distraction so we can pin it on those guys.
Right.
The fucking whole plot of the story is like, holy shit, the Japanese are so much smarter than we give them credit for in anime.
Yeah, there's some really smart writing in these shows, and especially when it seems like in the West, anytime a good show does get released, it gets renewed for 8 million seasons, and it gets beat until it is a well and truly dead horse. Not saying that doesn't happen with anime, but there are way more anime that go, we had a good 25 episodes. We're done. That's it. I was surprised because I was like, all right, let me watch the first episode, see how much we hate this. I was like, that's actually kind of creative.
Very much anime as a, or not anime specifically, but what do they call it? The light novels? Not isekais, but like the light novels that they write.
Oh,
they have such a creative writing outlet that is monetizable because of the culture of, oh, this anime is awesome. Oh, you should read the manga. And now you have like this hipster culture of, you should do this. Like, you should read the manga. And the next guy's like, fancy of you saying that. I read the light novel. And you end up like this weird hierarchies of establishing who's more snobby about anime, right? The light novels being the ultimate creative outlet to invent your story of like changing character beats, like how would those scenes interact, what would be cool to explore. Right. And the ones that like end up exploding because people are looking for those stories, they become a manga, like they get together with a mangaka or like with a group, a bit of finance, and then they might even get the animation.
Yeah.
I think is that even a thing in America, you know? Like,
well, you know, it used to be,
this book should get animated, or like this book should get a comic release.
It used to be to some extent, right? Because Walt Disney would find most of his animators through guys that were doing comics, or even guys that he just saw like sketching in the park and was like, hey, that looks really good. Have you ever tried animating? And Be like, all
Yeah.
right, well, we'll throw a budget at you until that they ran out of money, and then the strikes came, and then all that happened, and well, now into the modern day, I think occasionally a Twitter artist will get picked up by Disney every so often, or one of the big animation, but it's super rare, right? And yeah, Western comics are mostly trash today. I've heard the most recent Batman isn't half bad, but I can't speak on that. I'm not caught up
It's
myself.
like my problem is like, okay, I'm not gonna read. I can just play games. And this medium is more interactive, it's better financed, it's much cheaper. And
Right.
also it's just like by the medium of I'm so comfortable at doing things at my computer. And if I'm gonna like read a comic book, I might just read it on the phone, honestly, right?
Yeah.
I'm not as a creature of comfort. I'm not going out of my way to buy a comic book now. Like if it didn't happen as a child, as like what would you call it? A ritual of going to the
Right.
store and buying a comic book and experiencing those feelings. I'm not gonna pick up on it now because I already have those outlets those creative outlets that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and there's only so many hours in the day,
Yeah.
Nicholas, if you are not sailing the high seas, yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me just spitball, got 2,000 hours in New Vegas, a game you could pick up for less than $20. If you want to order a comic book, even if it's a monthly release, well, how many monthly releases of a $5 comic book do you have to get to 1,000 hours of content, even 100 hours of content? Quite a bit. It adds up very rapidly.
Like the counterexample would specifically to Nicholas, well, how expensive is Minecraft? And how many games can you play in one game? Right?
Yeah, there you go. That's same thing with Fortnite. It's a free
Yeah.
game. Yeah, that's very true. A million different ways to make noodles, a million different ways to play.
A
New
man
Vegas.
can just
There you
eat
go.
noodles and play New Vegas for the rest of his life.
Like the villain at the end of John Wick 2. There's a lot of things in you, John.
That's exactly what he
here.
said to John Wick. Yes.
A man could stay here for a long time and never play the same game twice. Right. Yeah, even still. So, we need women nagging us to actually build civilization. Well, we built the nice comfy things, and also if you look outside,
we have invented pillows so they can sleep at night.
But you look outside and you're like, man, fixing civilization. Geez, I mean, there's like 5,000 years of baggage with fixing civilization. Even a couple hundred. There's all these problems have been here since before I've been born. Or I can spend $20 and while away a few hours. Let me see. Which am I gonna do? Oh yeah, I regularly to this day have hundreds of hours put into Dungeons of Dreadmore, which is my favorite roguelite, which I was recommended by Total Biscuit. Speaking of years ago, in 2012, and they have been in a weird receivership period where the developers are trying to get the rights back to the game so that they can upload a new update after like 13 years, which is so cool, because it's a game I spent like $5 on 13 years ago, and it still has replayability because it's got a really unique gameplay mechanic. It's the only game I know of where you derive your stats from the skill tree that you choose instead of the other way around. So if you pick like perception and assassination and swords, then you might get more strength, more agility, higher perception, and the skills that you pick just determine what abilities you have, what like active abilities you have. That is Dungeons of Dreadmore. It's got
Dreadmore.
It's got a let me see. Let me see if I can.
Like more like in a swamp or more of
MOR,
thread?
MOR, like
Gotcha. Combat wheelchair
yeah.
incoming.
Oh God, and it's got fantastic OST as well. Uh, but yeah, you can look that one up. Let's see. Like this game called Moonring. Combat is minimal, and I just go about learning about the world. Yeah, cool.
Absolutely. There's also like a very weird dichotomy happening when talking games of what makes a okay. I love how the layout streams just two dudes hanging out in black white 300 pixels apart because they're not gay. Well, I know about Tyler, but you know, I legally am not allowed to call myself not gay anymore. After marrying my wife, of course. Those who know. Everybody else doesn't know me well enough for me to elaborate. But the thing about it's not about how much time you spend in a video game. It's about how much you enjoy the experience.
Right.
One big example of that is I did buy the game called Dispatch. And people love the game. It has amazing reception. They like the voice acting. They like the beats of the story. They like all the tiny touches. But honestly, if you're honest, the gameplay is very simple. Like it's barely gameplay. You just dispatch heroes on your like old-timey computer screen of like I send this guy over here, that guy over there, and then it's like kind of like rolling the dice if it succeeds or fails. But they have some stats, and depending on if it's a good fit, you have better chance of success or not. But the whole story ties it together into a great experience. So even though it's like $30 for like an animation that you can play instead of watch, basically, I would call that, people will call that, well, that's bad value. I spent 9.5 hours playing it for $30. Like, how would you ever pay that much money? But now I'm thinking, well, I'd rather play that than go to the movie theater, though. And I have a much better experience in terms of like a show that I enjoy, that I get to play as well.
Yeah. And it's that is really why we good point here, NeroCal. They're called visual novels, right? That's the thing with the 2D through 4D typology and what we're trying to get here. I've had fun in 2D games before, right? Yeah. But it's unfair to say it's the same, right? It's unfair to say like Doom, Doom 2, which is pretty much little to no story, all action, all gameplay. It can't really be called the same as, I don't know. I don't play too many visual novels. Doki Doki Literature Club, where you're reading walls of text and then every 30 minutes you make a choice. That's how most RPGs are played, is more in the visual novel style. The GM has their story that they're spitting out for you, and then every so often you get a choice that you can make, right? And if you're upfront and honest about that's what we're playing, there's no problem there, right? But it becomes a problem when we get trapped into it, when we're like, hang on, I was told I would be able to go anywhere, do anything. Todd Howard, you told me I could climb that mountain and there's an invisible wall here, damn it.
But when you go. It's the thing of what is being promised and what is being achieved, right? Like, oh, you can play whatever character you want. Well, except don't play a chaotic evil person, because it's gonna make role-playing, like everybody else is gonna be like, how do I interact with that guy? You go to the gentleman's bar to smoke a cigar, but the one guy shows up without a top because he comes like from working, I don't know, in the mines or some shit like that. And he really wants a cigar and a pint right now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we offer cigars and pints, but there's like this whole thing about your body that should be covered. But it's like, well, I was promised a cigar and pints, so what's the problem here? I got the money.
Right.
So how do we make sure that what's being premised also gets delivered?
Right. Right.
I think I'm like missing a step in my thought process here. I'm not sure if I explained it right.
No, I get you where the not everything is for everyone, right?
Yeah.
You
Right.
when you
The big critique of 40 roleplay being, well, you're like excluding a bunch of people. Well, what if I really enjoy the number crunching and the social aspects of having fun with friends, like having my wife hang around, like bring snacks and play her character, even though she's like looking at her character, she's looking up, and they ask, Jennifer, what do you want to do? And she says like, I don't know. What do I want to do?
Yeah. What's
Kind
this
of thing.
ability?
Yeah, it's like, you
played 5 sessions already, and they still don't know how their character works at all. And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, oh,
And the guys are like, oh, you could ask the kobold, like maybe you can convince the kobold to help us with the tribe, with the other tribe.
yeah,
And she's like, okay, let's do that.
yeah,
That's not role playing. That's just like asking the other guys, and then you are the human die roller. I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here on the train to follow the other guys.
and it becomes even more than human die roller. It becomes like the game equivalent of alt tabbing and looking at the wiki of like, hold on, how do I
Yeah.
play this game? What's the best? What unit should I use here? How do I do?
Right.
I'm playing civilization. How do I GM? How do I diplomacy the guy? Hang on, what? It's like that's not the compelling part of the game. There are some games where it's like, yeah, I legitimately don't know what to do here. I need the wiki. Let me crack open the wiki. But if you're playing Civilization 5 turn by turn, and I'm sure most people have had this game, not even a role-playing thing. It's just somebody, you've taken your turn. I move my scout, I move my worker, I'm gonna build let's see, a monument. All right, cool. And then you hit end turn. And then you're waiting 30 minutes while one guy goes, okay, in 15 turns, I can get a monument built, but in 12 turns, I can get a shrine built. Hold on, is rushing religion or Russian culture better for India? Let me look that up. Well, it seems like people disagree, and just take your turn. Holy shit, man! I'm growing old. I'm growing gray hairs right now, and you need to set up that expectation of like, okay, if that's you, we're going to exclude you because you don't respect the rest of our time here, right? You're playing the game as a single player, effectively.
Yes.
And you have those guys at the RPG table. I mean, look at some of the games that Crispy does unsolicited advice for, where you will have legitimate 45 minute long combat rounds with only 4 or 5 people. And it's usually because one of those 4 or 5 people is taking like a 10-15 minute turn, because they can't just do what Conway did this session and cast shield and then describe the way it looks, and then silently he raises his AC to 22 to show the shield going off. No, they have to go, GM, can I cast shield? Asking the GM if they can do a thing that their character is allowed to explicitly do.
Exactly.
Why? Do you ask the banker if you can roll to take your turn in Monopoly? No. So why are you? That's so weird.
Those are all learned behaviors because it took too many lashings for trying to act in character. And then the other players or even the game master says, oh, I don't know if you can do that. Are you sure about that? It's like every time it's like, well, I was, but now I'm doubting myself, and that's like wait, isn't that the gaslighting process, more or less? Like break down their own confidence in themselves bit by bit until you can like suggest offerings and then have them pick up on it, and then you are in full control. It's like, oh, that's all it is. So yeah, imagination is a limit. Motherfuckers, when the game master asks them if they're going through the left or right door, they both lead to the ogre. It's the quantum ogre.
Yeah. And,
I prepared the quantum ogre, so no matter where they go, it should throw it in.
the fact that Quantum Ogre is like even a discussion kind of boggles my mind because that's bad game design in a video game, right?
Yes.
If your choices don't matter in a video game, right? And that's something that frustrates me about Baldur's Gate 3 is the moment I found out that the villains aren't actually acting in the background. There's not really a time crunch at all. You can spend however long
Oh,
that you want to do
yeah.
this, and these cutscenes will exactly happen whenever you hit certain scripted events. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's what it
we
is. Like, you have to reach a point. Once you hit that point, it's gonna play out. And
right,
before you hit that point, it is frozen static in place.
yeah. And what I don't get is that it's not like this is new, the technology's not there to code that into place. In RPGs, there's really no excuse because we don't have to deal with coding. That's the beauty of it. But in video games, even Fallout had time limits, Wasteland had time limits, or Daggerfall, 1996, a game slightly older than I am. We had games that were capable of going, hey, motherfucker, you got 60 days to accomplish this. If you don't, you've soft locked yourself. You can still keep playing in the world. But if a DOS
I think,
computer can do it, you as a human being can do it, damn it.
but that's the problem. So we've done this early on, and what the industry learned is players had the subpar experience of playing this game, so they didn't like it. And you want them to have the best experience where you spend like the most time writing out story or animating that cool dragon that hits the town on Sunday,
Right.
but they didn't arrive at Sunday. They were here at Saturday and Monday and they missed a fucking dragon. You know? Imagine if you missed a fucking dragon in the Skyrim intro. You just never saw it in the first 10 minutes of the game.
But it was cool. I was playing back through Elden Ring last night, a mod with my wife, the Convergence mod, and we saw I forget his name, but the guy with the big like steel samurai straw hat.
Okay, yeah.
And she goes, "Wait a minute, he's here?" I was like, "Yes." Unless you kill the dragon before you go here, and then he moves on, and he has totally different dialogue. And it's a little thing, right? But it says that the developers were thinking, you might not do this in the order we expect you to do it in. You might not take the straight linear path from A to B. And that's a game they coded it and set it and let it go. It's got these fixed things. They can only think about so much, and they can still do it, right? They can still make this world that feels very organic, that feels like it's responding to your actions. In RPGs, we literally can just respond to the player's actions. It doesn't have to feel organic. It can just be organic.
Exactly.
Right?
Actually, that's a great point you bring up there. Like, the game designers themselves shift their approach from a philosophical point of view of how to design a game. Well, I don't design for like a perfect player experience. I design for a believable world that is alive, that the players can explore. So whether they choose to steal, murder, and plunder everybody, or interact with the townsfolk, and like try to make alliances and buy off 100 cows to walk in front of him to go explore a dungeon. It's all up to the player. You just put in as many tools as you can, makes the characters in the world as complex as you can, like the factions, let it play out, and they realize, hey, you do that, suddenly you can play Cogmind, you can play Caves of Khurd, you can play like so many roguelike role-playing games a million times and have a different experience every time. And the story unfolds, like the story becomes emergent out of how you approach the world. And it's not static, so it's replayable, and you can enjoy the exact same place multiple times and have a different experience every time.
Right, exactly. And this is a good point. Let me go down the line because we're getting out competed by the
we're ignoring chat today, guys. Pack it in, boys.
Is the issue chaotic evil being available, or the designers not making it clear the expectations of how to make a cohesive party or whatever? I think it's absolutely the second thing, because one, I don't like alignment. I think just play your character.
It's
right?
never been helpful, basically.
No, it's you, right? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to and ah about, was that an evil action? Was that a neutral action? How do you only take neutral actions? Do you just take an equivalent amount of good and evil actions? That's somewhat schizophrenic, etc.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's like, when do the horns start growing on my head, or when do I get the halo ring?
Yeah. Do I have to play this like Metal Gear and go totally non-lethal, or what are we doing?
It's
here?
the Fable approach, the doors start glowing.
Yeah, but
I wish you would. Like, that would be awesome.
Make detect evil a little less useful for the paladins out there, but yeah. The second one is much bigger. The issue, find, and it's a series I want to do at some point. Just open a book that claims to be a role-playing game and see if they explain what role-playing is. If they do, see if their explanation of what role-playing is at all thorough, gives you a real example, and gives you a real example that isn't terrible. Very, very rare that all three of these things. A lot of the times they don't even include an example of what role-playing is. They just kind of go, you're here, but odd things happen too, where people just don't read it, right? Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the book tells you, so the GM will describe a scene, and then players will describe their character's actions. This almost never happens in the wild.
That's so true. Yeah.
Players don't describe their character's actions. They talk in dialogue with each other, but they're just talking heads. They don't actually say, I draw my sword, I do this, No, the only time they describe their actions is not actual description. It's just, I cast a spell. This is what the spell does. I hit the thing. I attack. So, yeah, I think it's twofold. I think the designers could do a better job of what exactly is this whole role-playing thing, because we've let it run away from us. When I do martial arts demonstrations at places for, lay people, like we had a seminar at the library earlier this year, I have to go back from ground zero and go, all right, not everyone knows what historical European martial arts are.
Yeah.
The SCA guys just went. Society for Creative Anachronism just went. There are also a LARP group in town. So I need to explain to people, how are these three things totally different from one another? And they really are only, if you boil it down to, we swing sticks at each other, then yeah, they're all the same. But no, we need to
If you want to swing the stick with people that are enthusiastically swinging, go ahead. Any of them will do,
Right, yeah, exactly. So, the role-playing games, I think the designers could definitely do a better job in the modern day and age of explaining to the crowd that's only played video games how this is different. How a video game that says, hey, I'm an RPG, I'm Skyrim, and you go, well, no, Skyrim is really, it's barely an RPG. It forces you to play the Dragonborn. You are not allowed to choose what character
there are conflicting conflicts.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. Conflicting interests,
Right.
The big problem that I see is with role-playing games, you want to tool the thing you're selling to solve a problem to people, right? Like, okay, it's a game for fun. People do it for leisure. Okay, then solve the problem of what is fun? Because people they can drink and beat each other and have fun with that. It's been happening for thousands of years. So why play a role-playing game then? It's like, okay, we promise you to have a big world to explore. Okay, great. So you have the monster stats and you have the rule sets to play in this world. But do you also have the worlds? We have some worlds. And then you have the adventure paths that come in to fill that gap. so people can pick a world that sounds interesting and explore it. But the designers, they end up writing the rule systems for, oh, but actually you can do anything you want in that world, you know? So now you're like breaking it wide open again. Instead of like having a narrow focus of a thing to explore, you should just be able to explore everything. Which means, okay, now the game master has to do 10 times the amount of preparation, of knowledge, of like intimate knowledge on how to adjudicate situations, that he will never be ready. He will always be crunching numbers. And it means he will always have to be like, oh, hold on, let me think about this. And fucking trial by fire to figure out if it's going to be a good session or a bad session. And all the weight is on your shoulders.
All right.
So it's like, that's what I mean. It's like, you cannot just make the rule system to roll them all doesn't help you in that sense. It's much better to have like a refined tool of okay, we can have a catch of the systems, like the skill mechanics work very well because it's simple, it works for everything, and if you want, you can have more skills to cover more topics. But by excluding certain skills, you also say, well, it's not a game about bartering. You can talk to people, but you don't have a barter skill check
Right.
in D&D. But in Pathfinder, you're like, well, we can have I don't know, does Pathfinder have it? Like different role-playing games. I know, like with
does it have
Shadowrun, with Shadowrun and the Dark Eye, I'm taking those two specific examples that went the other way. No, I don't give you 12 skills. I give you all the skills, and also you can just invent new skills
Right.
to put points into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appraisal, persuasion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, in short, I think the designers could do some work, and it also requires you to, come to the table expecting what to expect. I always use the Skyrim example because Pathfinder to me is a lot like Skyrim, where it's a solid engine to modify. It's got a ton of potential of, wow, there's a bunch of really cool stuff in here that's kind of jank and it crashes sometimes and it doesn't work super well. But thankfully, there's a million mods, and once you just make it almost not recognizable as its base form, you can have something really good in here.
Yeah, you tune the experience to what you think would be interesting. Not just like what you like, but what you think you will like.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's like part of the joke. We're spending more times setting up the mod list than playing the fucking game. Because once you play it, you're like, oh, this is awesome, this is great.
Yeah.
I don't like the fucking survival mechanics anymore. It's
Yeah,
like
no, this
taking
mod sucks.
8
Yeah,
hours out of my day just trying to survive, going from Hammer. I don't know what all the places are
Yeah,
called.
this is a chore, not enjoyable. Or
I liked it when I had the fast travel mechanic before.
give me a backpack mod so I can carry all this shit out of here, because it's nothing interesting happens when I have to take 3 trips to get all the loot. I just fight 3 of the same wolf over and over again.
When I turned on the fucking survival mod, like, okay, let's click this on. Like, I cannot carry shit.
Right,
this is kind of ass. It's like, it's so hard. And I'd like to make some gold. It's cool for like, it's so immersive. It's so cool. And after a while, like, it drops off. Oh, this is just chores in a video game.
Realism is not cool if the only thing it achieves is wasting your time. If the cost of realism is time and that's it, it sucks. It's not interesting. This is one of the issues with Escape from Tarkov is you spend 15 minutes waiting in the queue, doing your inventory management, you get into a game, and it's realistic. You get shot in the head by a sniper you never saw. You're dead instantly. Great. But the cost of realism was 15 minutes of your time. And then there was no winner here, But if you make the game more realistic by going, you're not going to be able to carry everything. And because of that, because you had to take multiple trips, another adventuring party swept through and cleared the loot out after you had already killed all of the Draugr in here. Now
Yeah.
you have an interaction of the like, what are you gonna do about it, man? You fucking, you know, you took
Now
the
now it's a
time.
dynamic world. Like things
Yeah.
shifted. You have to make decisions of how are we gonna get all this loot out? Well, would have been real nice if we had if we brought a wizard with us that had Tensor's floating disc. You start arguing with each other like it was way too expensive, man. It was never worth it. What do you mean not worth it? We could do it all in one trip, you know, give him 20%. It's like, and while you're bickering, you can also be like, a band of troglodytes hear the vibrations in the floorings of the dungeon, be like,
Right, exactly.
I'm feeling hungry, you know, look at each other.
Yeah. And then this is, I would argue, Trout Nemesis, that this is even a description of 1D, right? Where the GM tells you to make a roll, then the GM continues telling the story they were already going to tell. I mean, you see this in the best role playing out there, Critical Role. This happens, you know.
Like, make a roll. But I don't want to make a roll. I would like to just do this. Make the roll. It's like, okay, give up.
It's like that player didn't say they were doing anything. They were just sitting there looking at their character sheet, and it's like, I'm making a roll now? Okay, I guess. And then you hit, but you don't actually hit them. Your arrow goes and hits a little crystal thing behind them, and then it exposits the orange weak spot on the monster. And it's like, okay, why am I here? You know,
am I here much, I have a thought in my brain. I don't know if I can hold on to it. Like, I'm not saying I'm going crazy, maybe a little bit, but there's this, like to the point I said before, it's not about how expensive the game is or how many hours you played in it. It's about the experience, how much you enjoyed the experience that it's delivering. Like, I enjoyed Dispatch, the video game, very much, even though it is more of a show turned video game. Like, literally, by like how it was conceived as a concept of trying to create a show. And then being like the shift to, oh, we can turn this into a video game, like have it be interactive in a way, which ended up being a great decision. They got applauded for it. And the same with, where was I going? I'm playing Vintage Story lately. And Vintage Story, for those who don't know, is a hardcore survival Minecraft clone. They came out as a mod for Minecraft and realized, oh, the engine cannot handle what we want to do, so they created their own game for it. And in that game, to cut down wood, first you need to find flint on the floor and nap the flint into an axe head, and then find sticks and combine the two to have the axe before you can cut down the tree. And if you want to build a house, it has a lot of minute steps that need to be done first. You cannot just erect a dirt wall because dirt will fall. It's unstable and it will fall over. But you can pack dirt together. Use multiple dirt blocks to pack dirt to create a dirt wall. And little steps like that means building a house becomes a laborious process. So if you go from a dirt hovel to a house made out of wood and planks with thatch roofing, it's such an arduous journey that when you reach the end of it, you had a great experience. Like every step you see, oh my god, I have a nice house now, I have a nice garden now, I have like all of these tools and resources that elevates the experience of like, okay, this took 20 hours, but man, is it rewarding when you reach the end of it. Like, and you can see every step of it, how it changes the world, since it's like Minecraft game, right? You can see every step of the way of how it changes, how you interact with the world. From Stone Age, literally having nothing but stones and sticks, to now you can forge copper, now you can forge iron, and have those steps in between, the sense of progress that you go through. It's like,
that's cool.
Okay, it's a hard game, it takes a lot of time, and not everyone has the time, but if you enjoy the experience of going through, like, it is very enjoyable to have that experience. It's niche, but it works.
Right, because you have that payoff for the time. It's kind of like running, you know, what I say, I enjoy running a campaign because you get those payoffs over time, right? You get the growth of being able to remember to go, man, remember when you were level
Level
2
1.
and level 1
Yeah.
struggling with these enemies that now barely exist anymore, right?
We could have died to the kobolds at
Yeah,
level 1 with
yeah,
that encounter.
yeah, absolutely.
6 guys with bows? Holy shit.
Yeah, terrifying. And um the yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know which one which game he talks about, but yeah.
Um but yeah, so and then likewise, Elfhunter earlier saying, a lot of 2D GMs preach freedom of choice, but they just
Yeah.
do the theme park or a dungeon with multiple routes. No, I really mean that PCs should be able to do anything. Exactly. I
Yes.
mean, a lot of the 2D games, the problem is that they are in service of finishing the module rather than being in service of playing the game and enjoying the game, enjoying
It's
playing
not
your
just
characters, right?
like to like finish the module is one aspect, but like the bigger aspect is to give a nice experience of this theme park ride of, oh, it's not the module, I've created it myself, tuned to
Right,
the
that
players
too.
of,
Pat yourself on the back.
yeah, it's like,
Wow,
okay,
that's
you
really
made,
cool, GM.
yeah, and it might be cool.
Right.
It might be cool, but you cannot guarantee that because you're not in the players' heads. And there are 4 different plays. You cannot satisfy all 4 of them at the same time.
No, yeah.
It's like if it's just a probability thing, chances are it's not gonna be the best thing
Right.
ever.
Right.
Even if you practice hard, even if you're super smart, if you're a genius, and the genius storyteller too, charismatic, you're smart, you're quick, and you've like everything prepared. And it will still be better if you just let the players decide where they're gonna go next,
Right.
what they're
right.
gonna do.
It's I always think of you go to a place, you buy a hot dog. I'm always gonna prefer the place that just gives me the damn hot dog and then has the little condiment stand on the side. Because if you automatically
Yes.
put, no, I don't want ketchup on my hot dog. Get that off of there. Maybe somebody doesn't want mustard on their hot dog. Maybe
Yeah, why didn't you ask me? Why are you just assuming
right,
what I want on that
exactly.
fucking hot dog?
Stop that. I don't like, and there's some businesses that they do it. Oh, that's just the way we make them. Okay, then I guess I just don't
I'm
buy.
not going here anymore,
Yeah, I guess I
know?
just don't buy. That's the way we make them for 100 years. We made them this way for, and you see people like that in RPGs too, where it's like, I've been GMing for 40 years, and it's like, okay, well, there's a reason a lot of restaurants fail, and there's a reason a lot of GMs feel GM burnout. Maybe
Like,
you need to change some things.
classic example, oh, that's how we made it for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Gordon Ramsay, okay, let me walk into your kitchen. It's
Yeah.
like, why is everything dirty?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check your pantries. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You're mixing what is it, chicken and pork in the same.
Yeah, you've got raw and cooked
Yeah.
chicken on the same shelf, and it's
Exactly.
Like, well, you've
It's
been
like,
doing it that way since before food safety standards were a thing. So maybe some change is good. Not all experience is good experience, right?
yeah, like tighten things up. Like, let's get the ship. Like, are you trying to have a great time or
Right.
are you trying to make a profit? Like,
Yeah.
let's shift priorities. Do you want to fail?
Yeah.
No? Then we need to change some shit.
Yeah.
And reorienting to what is the goal of this business, or what is the goal of the hobby, of you playing in the hobby?
Right,
What is your
right.
goal? What do you want to get out of it? Okay, let's narrow it down. I want to have fun with friends. Okay, let's relax on all the roleplay rules then.
Yeah.
How do you imagine having fun with friends? Well, spending time together? Okay, you can do that anyways with any hobby. You just need a reason to meet up. Okay, well, they don't want to play volleyball because they're all fat, overweight Germans like me. It's like fat, overweight Swiss. Like, okay, well, we could all go to the bar. Well, I don't drink alcohol
No.
much. Like, I like a good radler, but I don't like getting smashed drunk with strangers, like with friends, but with strangers around me. Now I have to worry, it's like outside my comfort zone. I have to worry how I'm going to look when I'm tipsy and all of that. It's like, Fuck that noise. No, I don't want that. It's like, I like to pretend to be in another world. Be a dainty elf. Or be a strong man. Or be the fat guy, you know? But I'm the best fucking chef in this side of the kingdom. Like, all of those things are interesting to me. And if the other guy just wants to hang out, it's like, every time I try to roleplay, he tries to distract from roleplay, like, have small talk with me. So then it's always clashing. And you end up leaving the table dissatisfied.
Yep.
We can't. There's like, I want to check out the G-Funk comment over there. Dang, I'm late. Caught some of the Pathfinder game during my lunch break earlier. I really enjoyed it. Good stuff. Tyler did a great job playing the villagers, especially the young tobacco farmers.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Tyler did an amazing job, yeah.
Oh.
I wrote down the one name that I picked up. Gotta look it up again.
It was Josiah and
Josiah. Tresson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was like, what's your name? But I don't expect to remember it. But but it's a thing my character would say.
There you go, right?
And it's also to make them more personal and for my dwarf to be like, they're not nameless, you know?
Right,
they're
right.
people.
It's
And I'm not thinking about this as a player of like, I need to take notes of everybody here. It's like, my dwarf literally doesn't know what he's called. And
yeah.
I'm ready to put money on the table. So I'm trying to familiarize myself.
Yeah. Of course, you could do the male thing of like, yes, this is my best friend, my new best friend. I've known him for 3 months. I have no idea what his name is. It happens all the time. You'll have a bar regular where it's like, hey, you're that guy that works at AT&T and orders the dirty martinis. I don't remember your name at all, but I remember those things about you.
I remember in my 2D days describing the material components of my spell, and I'm pretty sure people looked at me like I was wasting time. These people would often pause the game for unfunny jokes.
There's a lot to unpack here. That last part, which is...
What if the jokes were funny, though? You know? Would that have helped?
So it probably would have helped somewhat, right? But, at least in a 2D game, if people are legitimately funny, then I'm getting some enjoyment out of it, right? Maybe not what I came for. Maybe I came to role play and instead I've got, a stand-up comedy hour. But okay, at least I get some enjoyment out of it. It adds insult to injury when you have people treating it as a captive audience that think they are way funnier than they actually are, or way more clever than they actually are, or like, you're
exactly. It is the. You literally said it. I can say the words now.
Captive audience.
Not captive audience, but like you're making the jokes on the stand. It's like they didn't join the bar to listen to your jokes. They just wanted to roleplay or have a drink. You know, like
exactly.
Nobody said that anybody's getting up on the stage tonight.
It's the problem with joke characters that are not like the vending machine anime where they go, let's make a joke character and then play it totally seriously.
Yeah.
Where it's
that one you can see it on the fucking cover page. Right. It's obvious. Like it's like playing maid RPG. Everybody's a fucking maid, and it doesn't make any sense. You're a ninja with a rocket launcher disguised as an anime. We must like make sure the master is safe and okay and likes us.
Right. But instead of that, it's my character's funny, he's got a joke name, and when he dies, I'm gonna erase a B, and instead of Brandon, he's gonna be Randon, and he has all the same character and he has all the same stats. Oh, my brother shows up, and yes, you're very funny. You're the first person in the history of the hobby to have ever thought of these very clever jokes. Oh, okay. You're going
for me, it's almost like a step further of like my guy says, I mean, too bad that my character died, but it's okay. I'm just gonna make him again. It's like, what? Why? It's like, oh, don't worry. I'm not playing him with you. Yeah. I'm gonna play him with like other people. It's like, now I feel like, wait, when I play with you, are your characters just like sloppy seconds?
Yeah, are they just copy pasted from everybody else?
Is this like some Reddit character that somebody else thought of?
Exactly. Oh my god, dude, where it's like repeating jokes that you know they found on the internet because you have the same Twitter algorithm, and you're like, oh, what are you trying? Are you trying to win cachet with me by?
It's weird because at some point I want to say like, okay, I didn't see it yet, so it shouldn't affect me. But in my head, I'm thinking, are you trying? Like, I'm here for that social collaboration of like role playing out the story together,
Right.
and you just phone it in to be like, well, I'm not here for the role play, so I just have this cardboard cutout stand-in to role play with, kind of
Right.
deal that
Right.
somebody else invented. Makes me think, why am
Yeah.
I playing with you, man?
When
Like, why did I invite you again?
when somebody's not receptive at all to your role play, which is like what Elf Hunter mentions, where it's like we
Yeah.
can try to lead by example, but I remember exact moments of this where I was when I was playing 5e, and my least favorite thing about 5e is that no one fucking role plays that game. There's zero. It's the most popular role playing game out there, and there is zero role play to be found. It's nowhere. It's an absolute drought. So
here's page 6 of the Player's Handbook 2014, right? How to play the play of Dungeons and Dragons games unfolds according to the basic pattern. And I'm just gonna read out the bold, like step 1. The DM describes the environment. That's small text, of course. Step 2. The players describe what they want to do. Step 3. The DM narrates the result of the adventurer's actions. It's so easy. How do you skip this most fundamental part in the book that's like literally page 6, you don't have to dig through. You just go through, okay, how do I play this game? All right, he describes the world, I describe what I do. He describes how the success turns out.
And then people make GMing out as if it's the hardest thing possible. Nobody wants to GM, and it's like, guys, they described it in 2 paragraphs, like 2 sentences even. You didn't
And of course the small text, which is like trying to elaborate how you do it, like, because man, if you never watch somebody else play, you're just like, am I doing this right?
Right, exactly.
It has been this esoteric art of, we didn't watch Gary Gygax's role play. He didn't put it on YouTube.
Yeah, and from his writings, he didn't role play, so he was
even worse.
He was an unabashed war gamer, and Dungeons and
That's
Dragons,
what he enjoyed.
And Chainmail, they weren't even called role playing games initially; they were called something like adventure wargaming for, for parties. I can't remember the exact like tagline, but it was adventure wargaming effectively, not role playing was sort of a backronym. It was after the fact where it was like, oh yeah, some people are, because they're only controlling one character, they're getting more involved into it. Oh,
that's the whole thing of, okay, in a world where no role playing games have existed before, how do you invent this new genre? What is the fitting word for it?
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume, like, if I never played a role playing game before, I would also be a bit confused, like, so what does it entail exactly?
Right. And
because it's like the first time.
Yeah, where it's like, to what is it? What was that Carl Sagan quote? To build a house, you first have to invent the universe. I pointed this out because playing with guys 5e before I ever found this group, I was playing a lizard folk and wanted to play this like alien, very foreign mindset, and his horse ended up dying, and he was like, well, we're not going to disgrace it. And
meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, and then the other party members were like, well, I think we should bury it. And it's like, what are you talking about? Bury it? That would be a huge waste of... he starts cutting into
it. Like, why would you insult Betsy like that? As you have like a bunch of meat in your claw biting into it.
Right, exactly. So, cool start to the scene. And then, anyways, you guys, and the GM just swiftly teleports us into the next scene.
Like,
there's no...
Why?
Yeah.
What did you do, GM? I
it
was
didn't get
having
to
a
land
moment.
at all, right? And
I was
so
having a moment here, it's like
yeah,
it's always comedic. It's like,
yeah,
oh, I was having a moment here. Oh,
right,
you're being a theater kid, like motherfucker, you don't understand theater.
yeah,
No,
no,
even less
no.
kids, because kids have fun. You don't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you're really having fun, guys, it's just a game. It's just about having fun. Nobody who's actually having fun has to say that. If you're
Yeah.
actually having fun, it's self-evident. It's self-evident by the fact that
Are you guys having fun? You guys,
yes,
Game Master, we are having
yes,
fun.
yes, of course, I am looking forward to it next time. And at the end of every session, you guys can articulate exactly what it is that you
Yeah.
liked and didn't like about the session.
Yeah. What did
Phenomenal.
you like?
Look at the end of most sessions out there where there's no yeah, it was fun. It was fun. That is the least helpful sentence in the history of the English language.
It's like,
That
okay, what
tells
did
us
you like?
nothing, right?
What
Like,
did you like? Oh,
right,
I liked that we played the game together. It's like, oh,
right.
I really have this problem with like the German friend group locally. Like, I've really, like, over the last year, I've become much more insular, so I didn't talk as much, to the point of like it's almost like a bit more of a problem.
Right.
Like, for my birthday, I did like reach out and be like, hey, how are you doing and stuff.
Right,
So it's
right.
like, okay, we are on friendly terms. We're not like warring. And
Yeah, but
I'm just not role playing with them.
right. They can be friends for other things, right?
Yeah.
It's the
And also like outside of roleplay, there's much overlap. There's the distance. Like they live in the big city, we live in the small
right.
town,
Oh, I
and
feel that. Yeah.
we don't drive. Like I don't have a car, and I don't have a driver's license. Like in USA, of course, you need a driver's license to get anywhere.
Oh,
And over here, I'm like bound to the Deutsche Bahn, which is the worst operated railway system
you
possible.
know, people say that, but I'm 28 years old. I live in the United States. I don't have a driver's license. You know
Ooh,
why?
oh,
Because
I didn't know.
I live in a college town. I walk to work every day. Saves me
Ah,
hundreds of dollars every month on a car payment. You
gotcha.
know?
Yeah.
So, it's now right now
It's weird, like, why do I need a car in a world where e-scooters exist?
right. And
Mwahaha.
it's like, well, if I lived alone, would a car be important? Yeah, but my wife has a car, so it's not really
Right, that
super
problem solved, so
right.
why
It's like,
change it?
why would I have several thousands of dollars tied up in anyways, we're getting a bit off topic there. But yeah,
Exactly.
uh so it's a random yak about anything stream. So the but yeah, absolutely get the real life getting in the way of things working.
Yeah. Like,
So
yeah,
when you're
why am I
making
not role playing with them? It's they love to, oh, let's do this module, or
yeah.
like I've written up something. It's like I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, if we're
And
going to
they struggle to understand why I'm not interested in what they're interested in, or if
right.
I don't like them as a friend, and all of those. Like,
Oh,
we've
some
played
people,
those scenes out all the time. You make a
yeah.
mission, you have a twist, you create some characters, and then we play through it. It's like,
Yeah,
I want to role play my characters and the
right.
NPCs characters. I want to see them role played and how we interact with each other and with that. And I
Well,
think, well, go
there's
ahead.
a lot of sunk cost fallacy in it too, where it's like I put about 1,000 hours in Dota 2. I played since the beta before I realized I am having less fun than I am having fun, and I can articulate the reasons why. And the developers are not articulating that they are addressing the things that cause me to not have fun here. So even though I have a bunch of friends that still play Dota, I have not played this game in 7 years, give or take.
Yeah.
And I don't look at that 1,000 hours I've spent and gone, oh man, I go, those are fun days. I can reminisce about them.
Those
And
were good days.
I
Yeah.
can also remember that was experience telling me a lot. It informed that here's the biggest problem. Here's the connection between MOBAs and online multiplayer team-based games in general and role-playing games. You cannot vet your team in a MOBA unless you're
No.
only playing competitively. you always get some random shitter that's there with 200 ms ping because he's connecting to the North America server from Eastern Europe for some reason, and
Because
then
he got banned in Europe or some other
yeah,
shit.
and then he's pausing the game every 2 seconds, and then he's yelling in all chat in a language your keyboard can't even produce. And then,
oh, do you have the problem where it's all squares because it doesn't have the Cyrillic or something like that?
Yeah, it doesn't have the Cyrillic or Chinese, and then you're wondering, like, is this guy even real? Is it just a fucking bot? You have the same issues with playing with unvetted players in tabletop RPGs, except they could be in your house. So especially, I'm not going to vet them if it's a real home game. Right,
like people are talking about those experiences of like having the stranger over, play games. Like, oh, we thought he was cool, then I don't know, like he stole my blanket or some bullshit. You know, like I lended my books to him, and then I never saw his books again, and he moved.
I have a direct experience of that. I lent this guy who we role played for probably a year. It was a guy I played games with in a shop, and we played to like level 13 or 14 in Pathfinder First Edition from level 1. So this was not it was like a once a week long running campaign, and I lent him some books, some expensive HEMA books and RPG books, because he was into bow making and wanted to get into some of the melee combat as well.
Interesting.
And out of nowhere, he just didn't show up one night. And we were like, oh, we hope he's okay. And he blocked every single person in that group. Nobody has any idea what was... No one has any idea what was said to him that like set him off. I was like, did somebody have like a big fight with him or something? And everyone
like a drama. Did something spark?
It was like not that anyone knows of. Like, so I don't know if the guy just went nuts, but everyone went, yeah, last we heard he just moved like 4 hours away. It's like, the fuck? Well, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing of, well, everybody is nice until they're not, right? Because we all have to live in a society. We live in a society, guys. But we do. So we have to interact with each other. Okay, put the mask on. Because you realize as a child, if you cry and bitch every time, people don't like you. And you get ostracized. And then you're alone. Yes. And now you're really bad. You're like,
and now you have real reasons to bitch for it. Yeah, exactly.
And you realize, but if I don't bitch, and if I put a face on... people like me more, right? It's culturally reinforced, and of course, different cultures do it differently. I think I might insult them. The Norwegians, like the Danes and the Swedes, they're very upfront. They're very honest. They don't have the same mask. They're like kind of cold but honest. So if they don't like it, they're like, "Oh, I don't think that's true," or "I think you're lying," and that's like saying, I don't want to believe that you're lying, but what you sounds like a lie.
Yeah.
And it's like a fucking grievous accusation. But yeah, they don't sound like it's hard to believe. It's like they feel uncomfortable because they always believe you would say the truth of what you think is true. I had this exact thing happen to me. It's like 20 minutes later, I realized, oh no, I just thought of something else and I confused the two things. But he couldn't even conceive of the concept that that is a possibility.
Right,
so he just thought, like, why is coming in here and lying to me? This is very confusing.
That's weird. You don't. You're not the type of person to do that.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Before we dwell too long on this one comment, though, and catch up with you guys there, the other thing that I wanted to say there was the role-playing, like pulling teeth moment. Man, it's when you're looked at as the odd one out for doing the rules of the game,
I'm taking the spider's legs and cast this. It's like everybody's looking like, spider leg? What?
Right.
Just say that you cast a climbing spell.
And then
spider climb.
These people have the fucking gall to go, casters are kind of broken in these games. It's because the balance is that you have to have the material components, you have to do the hand waving, so if you get rid of the role playing part of it, you get rid of the balance part of it. these
Yeah.
people that are obsessed with the game and mechanical balance, but don't understand that part of that is the logic of things. Wanted to tie this into what Conway said here. Also, a matter of role play. My character assumed that kobolds always lead to a fight, so he cast shield without thinking about it. Turns out it was a wasted spell slot. Good in character moment. Right. The casters have resources to manage that aren't just health points.
Yeah.
And because of that, if you use your resources in a situation where, the situation has been diffused, then you go, oh, shit. Well, I've got to make do with the rest of my spells for the rest of the day, right? Or
I can also say, like, Talash at that moment is also thinking between, okay, the one guy wants to fight, the other guy wants to have a talk. And I'm thinking, we need to be a unified front.
We can't
if we
do
face
both
the
of these,
enemy
right?
inside. Like, we don't have time for bickering.
That was a cool tense scene because it was tense on the kobold side because they could clearly see even through the language barrier that it's like,
those are strangers. They're not kobolds.
One of them has their weapon drawn. Yeah. One of them just disappeared, and they don't look like they're on the same page about anything.
Right. Yeah, things could escalate, and they should be worried.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we do outnumber them, but people don't come out here, and these guys are well armed and armored in 2 of their cases.
Exactly.
That's unusual. Yeah. That's scary.
They even look esoteric for humans by how shiny the armor is and the different colors of the outfit of
It's easy to tell that it's like
Nicholas' character.
Where it's like I was thinking like the first thing you think when you see these 3 guys is, oh shit, somebody hired mercenaries to come kill us. Like
they're trouble.
We're not wanted here anymore, right?
And I wish I could click on comments to highlight them. I do not have the power.
What do you want to highlight?
Elf Hunter, see you roasting so hard right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going hard. I'm going hard on people.
Well, right? It's worthwhile, you know.
Yeah, it's the whole point of what do you want out of a role-playing game? I want to role-play, and so many people are out there that want the social experience, and they lambast us. Not us in particular, but in the sentiment of role-playing games in general.
Right.
Of like what you're supposed to do in a role-playing game. And I just feel like there's so much more possible. Why are you denying me my freedom by like locking down on how you're supposed to talk about roleplay, what is commonly accepted? That's the whole point, the whole problem with trying to have any discussion on Reddit, because you're faceless on Reddit. So it's just mob mentality of what are the first 5 comments on there? And the one that gets like 5 upvotes ends up getting 50 upvotes. Nobody else.
Reminding me of Reddit, because that was the other thing I wanted to say in response to Elf Hunter's comment there on, role playing and then people looking at you funny.
Yeah.
I got downvoted, not by 1 or 2 people, but by a swarm of Redditors for a comment which I thought was, of the things I've said, uncontroversial. Where someone said, well, this seems like this would unbalance this aspect of combat, or this would make this character quite weak in the combat aspect. And
they throw in a counter arguments like
right. They would say stuff like that, and I said, Pathfinder, the role playing game, is not only about combat. That's all I said. Full stop. That comment got downvoted to oblivion.
And that's the whole sentiment of the theater kids sentiment implanted in their minds of, oh, he's talking about roleplay, so he's a theater kid. Like skipping a whole process of the arc.
And I wanna ask people where's the director then? Am I telling these players what their character's motivations are? No, they're making it up for themselves. Am I telling where is the director in a theater telling the actors to roll a die and then adjudicating based on the random result of that? Where are the theater kids playing with a preconceived set of mechanics in the first place? none of this is happening, right? This is not, it comes from the people that accuse X of LARPing don't know what LARP is. The people
Yeah.
that accuse X of being theater kids don't know what theater is. And they sure as hell don't know what role play is. They just throw these three terms around left and right as if there is an agreed upon, oh, I know it when I see it.
Okay, I
You
figured it
don't.
out. This is why it offends me personally, because it's so many people in the role playing game hobby that have no curiosity. They don't want to explore something
Yeah,
different, something
right?
new,
No,
and
they
that's
want to, yeah. They want to
it's
make the thing they already do
yeah.
more, right? They want to optimize this thing. They want to crunch that down. They want to make their own story, more streamlined with more shiny pictures, better terrain, better miniatures.
It
But
tighten up their skill tree like in Pathfinder. That's like the big thing. How do
right,
I have the
find an
best
interaction
combination
that's
of traits?
and I'm not saying that none of that can be fun, but it's the thing of once you have really, really refined your sidekick, so to speak. I'm always
Yeah.
making martial arts analogies because it's something I do for a living in some
Oh,
capacity.
that kind of sidekick. Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. Yeah. Just wasn't even thinking that. But you really, really refined your front kick over and over and over again, right? It's great. Do you not ever get bored of doing that and go, let's try other kicks? Or, good Lord, let's try punching. Be shocked. Maybe try wrestling or sparring with weapons or even just swinging weapons around or go from Eastern martial arts to Western martial arts. Or
I don't want to
this,
do this. I don't know this thing, so I'm afraid, just block it off.
right,
It's like,
right, exactly. Wrestling? Oh, but my head might hit the ground. Don't you guys kick each other in the head? It's like Taekwondo guys that are scared to wrestle because it's like, oh, there's joint locks. Couldn't you like break somebody's arm like this? I'm like, you're aware you get gold medal in Olympics in Taekwondo by knocking the other guy out, right? Like you're scared of a little joint lock that you can tap to. It's silly,
it's
You're
a
scared of
couple.
you're scared of role playing, but you're going to spend the
Yeah.
next 8 hours throwing dice and being bored staring at your phone for the 5th week in a row. Come on, guys. Have some self-awareness.
So, since we're like kind of preaching to the choir, so
Yeah.
point is mute until we find people that that have the curiosity that I'm talking about. Like, what do they even mean with role playing? Like, I thought I knew role play, yet they seem to be
Right.
playing the game differently than I am playing.
Right.
So if those people are showing up, then we can pick this conversation up again. Because and if you're that
exactly.
guy, just watch us play Pathfinder
Yep.
and see how we play Pathfinder compared to literally everybody else on YouTube. Literally everybody else. Because the 40 guys, they're not playing Pathfinder, so it's only us. We are the only ones
Right.
to showcase how much you can roleplay in this rules-heavy system. And you can see the difference, like, okay, what would theater kids do? We watched a couple of those games on the Crispy's channel, his unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
Theater kids stop to say, oh, my character could do this
Yeah.
to like extend the scene, bring a twist in it.
Storyboarding, right? They
Yes.
storyboard before they play the scene out. It's not just played out. The direct, as Chandra would have said, the director's
storyboard.
calling cut. Yeah.
Exactly. Literally scene cut, or the camera moves down like above the table from the ceiling as the four figures sit in the shade of this one lampshade illuminating the table, casting
Or,
white shadows, like all of those details.
Yeah. Like the Lindy Beige game that he looked at, which is probably the most interesting one because it was different from the standard affair. But you can watch where there's not a mechanic that's called upon for like an hour straight. And that is okay, you're not playing a game. This is just improv, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I want the culmination, the synthesis of these things. I want these wargaming army of one crunchy aspects where I get to pretend I am a guy with a spear and a shield and I get to cast magic and unlike the thing I do in real life, I can cast magic for one if I want to, and two, I don't actually get injured. So that's a plus side. And I get to play on the other side, the other bit of the synthesis. I get to step into the shoes of a character that I'm not. I get to take actions in this world that I wouldn't as Tyler the human being. I get somebody says something, my boss comes in, asks why I'm late. You know what? Fuck you. I'm tired of this. I don't need your money. I quit. I can't do that in real life, but
And you can, but the
right.
consequences are heavier too.
I would prefer not to in real life. Let's put it that
way. And the thing, I had a thought in my mind. There's this, only a couple of times I role played with people where I'm like, I don't really want to role play with that guy because he is very charismatic, very good with words, and will beat me every single time we role play something because he sees it as a challenge to win. And I see it as a challenge to collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
How do I collaborate the best to create interesting scenes?
Yeah.
So I ended up like being, getting verbally browbeaten, so to say, in scenes where I'm like, well, that's not fun. The fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're playing together, our characters are against each other, but you should understand that we as players are not against each other. So why are you like going so hard or, going so intense in the scenes?
And that points to where balance is the only spot really where balance matters that much, in my opinion, is when you don't want to create a game where characters can be so different in power level that, okay, well, this guy's made a character that's just absolute garbage and can't compete at anything. It is possible to make a character that's like a dedicated healer that's worse at healing than a guy that's primarily a fighter, but he has healing as like a secondary skill. There are games like that.
Well put. That's Pathfinder, right? If you play with strangers without session 0, we all start at level 5.
Yeah.
One guy shows up with a fantastic character.
Yeah.
And the other guy is like a cook with an adventuring side job that has a great story, but really sucks ass at all of his skills.
Yeah, and you're having to, you feel like you're dead weight and you're having to be dragged through the
One player played the feats game. He picked sharpshooter. He picked like all of those fantastic feats. I mean, Pathfinder has a bit different. Like sharpshooter is the obvious example for D&D 5e. Like he picked what is it? He has power attack. He has like improved power attack. He has like his trait for longsword. Stuff like
the
that.
game we looked at a while ago, Dungeons and Drones, where they spend like 30 minutes trying to kill these centipedes, and then the fighter, after he's finally done with his battle with the ladder, just walks down and goes, "All right,
everybody,
there you go, guys."
And it took so long.
It took him like 3 guys. As the hardest thing for this fighter was getting off the damn ladder. That's a problem with the mechanics, right? That's where the mechanics rear their ugly head. And
it's so focused on trying to play the game correctly,
right?
As like this tabletop adventure warfare game, where the whole game would have improved if the game master relaxed a little bit, let them role play out those scenes more, instead of focusing on every single action of how mechanics work. And it's like, oh, well, then we're not playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition correctly.
Yeah.
Well, do you care? Like, how much do you care if one of them is more fun than the other?
And to that statement, when I play tested for them, I asked Jason Bullman in person, when you're doing the meta plot thing and you're deciding, okay, these adventures, eventually this module gets completed and this is the canon-ish ending. We're not going to say
100 years later and stuff.
Right. We're not going to say it's exactly these adventures. We're going to leave some blanks for you to fill in. But I was like, how do you guys go about doing that? What if, and what pushes you away from making like an XCOM 2 style decision where, if you don't know XCOM 2, you're assumed to have lost in XCOM 1.
Yeah.
Where, the aliens do take over and now you're this underground unit instead of the unified force fighting against them. And he said, well, it wouldn't be much of a role-playing game if we didn't let you do whatever you want at your own table. He was like, throw this. He was like, if you don't like the meta plot, the direction that we've taken it, just throw it out. You don't have to use it. Like, that was basically the long and short of his answer. Is like, this is a recommendation. It's a suggestion. It's an option. It's not a prescription, right? It's
Yeah. I'm looking at
Yep.
some of the comments. Let's look at Conway's storyboarding. It's
Yeah,
awful in terms of role-playing games. If you want to just write them, fine, but don't call it roleplay. It is a literary pursuit, not one of roleplay. There is no world of character being emulated.
right. Exactly.
A world or character being emulated. Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking a bit like about this world emulation in here because I'm struggling. I know on the Discord there's been like back and forth about emulation and simulation.
Right.
So I'm just like putting my raw thoughts on the table. Emulation for me is this event happened and you are emulating what has happened. It's like emulating the PlayStation 2, how it works. You know how it exists. You have everything about it. It's just do it again, but in your computer.
Right. You don't actually have the PlayStation there. Whereas a true simulation would be, it's indistinguishable from the real thing. And of course we can't get that just because the time can't be 1-to-1. You know, when people say, oh, it's 1-to-1 role play, well, that too is a problem of a term. Do you mean in the session, or do you mean if a day passes in real life, a day is assumed to have passed in the game?
Is that a difference? Because I was going a different direction with what would name me like a famous battle that everybody knows.
Not everybody knows that. The Battle of Hastings.
Yeah, the Battle of Hastings. Reenacting the Battle of Hastings would be the emulation because you know the battle exists, how many people were there,
right?
And you put on the correct outfits and everything. And the simulation would be a battle at Hastings, but you change like how many people are there and you know like how many resources they have. It's just a battle, and you simulate what it could be like how many ways it could play out instead of playing it out how it historically played out. That's what I thought is the difference between emulation being like that's how it was, so we repeat that, and simulation being like, let's go through the process and see how many ways this battle could end.
Interesting.
I guess that's why I get lost in the Discord conversations.
Well, usually simulation just refers to the fact that this could happen in the real world. This is a thing that you can actually recreate for real in real life. So, when you talk about using like simulation munitions for training exercises in the military, they're using blank firing adapters on actual rifles rather than paintball guns, because a paintball gun doesn't accurately reflect the recoil, the muzzle flash, the sound, all of that. So
you need to get used to how it feels to shoot the fucking thing. Because when it happens, you're gonna freeze for a second.
Right, exactly. So you could compare like emulation of like, okay, we're going to do the Battle of Hastings, but we're going to do it with foam weapons. We're not going to hit each other in the head because we're going to try to be safe. And it's like, okay, you're getting close enough, right? But we're taking some, in the role-playing terms, we're taking some asides for, we're going to have these brief out-of-character moments to briefly mention a mechanic.
You stab each other with this foam sword, which bends, and you say, you're dead. And the other guy's like, all right. And then he falls over.
And you lean over by a tree and, hold your guts in and wait for a medic or what have you. Whereas simulation, you could either interpret that as, right, we're going to have real spears and we're really going to do this for real to see how this could have played out. Or being, just blunt steel, trying to get it as close as possible. But one of the reasons that an RPG, at least in my model and usage of these words, will never be able to be a true simulation is just because of the time, right? I'll always bring up the example of here's how many times I can punch you in the times it takes me to say I punched the guy,
Right.
4 or 5
Yeah.
times, right? Is and Eric Paulson, he's a coach at combat sport wrestling or combat submission wrestling out in Arizona, really famous early MMA pioneer, says, here's a great drill to just ingrain how much different combat is from theory and playing around about combat. I'm going to get on top of you in a dominant position, ready to punch you. And I want you to tell me 3 things you're going to do to me. You're going to trap my arm, you're going to sweep me, and you're going to get on top and choke me. All right?
So that's a simulation now we're talking about?
So this is an emulation, right? This is the emulation where we're drilling it, right? We're saying,
oh, yeah.
all right, opponent's on top of me. I'm going to frame. I'm going to trap his arm. I'm going to roll over. Then I'm going to start choking him on top.
Right.
All right,
you
great,
skip all the parts that got you into that location. We just practice how to get out of it.
Yeah. Then he says, all right, now I'm going to start even just tapping you in the face, and I want you to repeat those 3 things back to me. You're done by the second one. You can't do it. As soon as this starts coming to your face, you're going, I'm going to trap your...
You can't think anymore.
Yeah. It's one step at a time, right? So it's the exigence there, the immediate time, right? That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like
Conway has
says,
lots to say. Yeah. Let's go.
Emulation is like the shadow cast on the wall. Simulation is recreating the 3D shape that casts the shadow in the simulated environment. Right?
Okay, that's not helping me whatsoever. Like, that's confusing me more.
Okay. My point wasn't the emulation or simulation debate, more to the idea that roleplay requires some manner of emulation by definition, because we're doing what X character would do.
Exactly.
Emulate,
that's
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
In your head.
You emulate in your head what a certain character would do to make that external and real in the world, while the GM must emulate what occurs in the setting as a reaction to the action. Yeah. I like that. Like, I always saw this as like, yeah, you're simulating this because you're going through the process of what would happen, but you don't have good information. You cannot know everything. Right. So you go with your own intuition, what you know, what you can pick up of like, what would a human do? Well, I don't know what a human would do 1,000 years from now. I don't know this guy, but I have to imagine what this guy's like, what he would do. And trying to get into that to simulate. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not that good with what they mean. But like as Captain Conway would say, like, okay, let's emulate this guy. And you have an idea of like, what are his strong suits? Like, he's stubborn, but it also means that he's tenacious. So now you can emulate what would a tenacious guy do when he sees his village catching fire. You know, it's like, I live here, so I'm gonna make sure I can keep on living here, walk towards the fire, and figure out what can be done about it.
Yeah. But, part of the, and I think that's all great, and I just wanted to say like an overarching thing before I have to go teach class. The overarching concept that we've got going on here, which is borrowing language from other fields, which is what role-playing has done since the beginning, right? People forget that role-playing was initially a term used in psychology and therapy. And it was just a convenient, close enough term to borrow, because inventing new words is really hard. It doesn't happen very often. And it has to be...
You can't just invent the word, people have to use it.
Exactly. Usage is usage will kill a word. Toddlers invent new words all the time, but they don't stick around because
fucking teenagers invented no cap. Now I have to live with it.
Oh, good lord. Well, in the modern day, being any kind of teacher of students, you're hearing 6'7", and you're like, oh, just ignore them. Just move on with your life.
It's a mind virus.
You were a
stupid
stupid teenager once too. Hold on.
You've been ideologically captured by fucking TikTok.
Yeah. But it's the worst because you're trying to say like, when you're about 6 or 7 feet away, you're like, oh, fuck, I did it, and now I'm
I
never going to
triggered
hear
them.
the
I
end of
said
it.
I did the fucking trigger protocol
Yeah.
activated. Class
Yeah.
derailed for 3 minutes.
Yeah. CG fun. Oh, and here's the police coming to arrest me. No. But one of the problems is when we borrow terms from other fields. For example, Yekrep and I were having a discussion the other day when we were talking about diegetics in games, and then like 3 paragraphs into this discussion, we go, "What do you mean by diegetics?" And I go, "What do you mean by diegetics?" We look it up, and it turns out there are like 3 or 4 different usages of diegetics. There's like classical Greek theater meaning of the word. There's a more like modern overarching story definition of the word. It's bizarre. Simulation's even worse because we have the modern concept of a computer simulation.
Exactly. Yeah, it changed. That definitely changes
the
things.
words that it used to mean, where you could have a scale model where you put the little clay car in the wind tunnel. That's a simulation where you're trying to get you get really, really close, just scale it down and hope the maths to the actual full size car.
That's building a miniature city to plan out where the roads would be, how tall the houses are, and just like, oh, this would cast like a shadow over the park, which would ruin people going to the park because they want sunshine.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Or having the Japanese subway system that's designed by a slime mold because they found out that this mold can find the shortest, quickest route to get to nutrients, and it's better.
Amazing.
It's better than any mathematical.
That's fascinating. We should make a show about that. Like, why are you watching us, guys? Let's check out the mold.
Go look that up if you haven't. They have yet to be able to figure out a computer algorithm that works as well as this mold. This thing that literally can't think. It's just the blob of cellular organisms.
His whole existence is finding nutrients. You can't compete with that.
So if you just go one end of the petri dish is Shinjuku Harbor, the other end is Tokyo Square. I need you to connect these two. You just put a nutrient cube over here, and the mold goes, all right. And you look and you go, you would never in a million years imagine that this crazy path that it took is actually the fastest way to get there. But it is, right? It is. Hey, that's been a topic twice today. That's the kobolds for you. But
it's the thing of like, okay, to achieve your goal, the goal isn't to walk towards it. It's to take a path and course correct. Right. Because if you think about what the correct path would be, you're so paralyzed and standing still that you never actually do it.
Imagine there's a Pathfinder banner behind me, and he said the name of the game.
Yeah, find the path. Don't walk on it. Go first. Walk first, then find the path. It's. I'm sorry, I somehow made it philosophical again, but as somebody who literally went on a pilgrimage, I had a goal in mind of where I will end up, the border between France and Spain, for the pilgrimage on the way of Saint Jacobs, I think is how you would say it in English. And so I knew where I would start in Geneva because Switzerland is too expensive. I'd just take the train. I can travel throughout Switzerland without paying extra. So I just travel to Geneva and then I walk. But I had to find the fucking path first because I had no clue. Right. How do I find the right roadway signs as like a pilgrim on foot to walk on? I was just lost. It wasn't about like walking the way correctly. It's about just walk first. You find a way as you go.
Right. It's and it's the same in everything. And everything is inherently philosophical because philosophy is just how do you think, right? Yeah. There's a way to think about stuff. Most people just what was it Elf Hunter said earlier, but many don't think for themselves. Many don't think about how they think. They just take for granted that I have these thoughts. They're my own. Sure, great.
It's a big YouTube tutorial problem of how do I do this? Right. Let's look it up on YouTube. It's like, wait, you could have solved this if you thought about this too. Yeah. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that like, how do you open your can of tomatoes Like being like, I just Googled that. It's like, what?
Right.
You know, you could develop your own mind so you don't have to rely on Google. What happens if you're in a location without electricity or without internet connection? The the more self-reliant you can become, the flexible you can be and solve problems and like as they come up, and people around you who didn't do that will be like, oh wow, he's handy to have around.
Right.
I want to be his friend. And suddenly you're the popular guy, right? Suddenly you're the dependable one, the one people look up to, or that they ask, hey, come to help us with our projects. I have this problem and I know you always have a solution. Even if you don't know anything about, I don't know, computer science or how to build a rocket ship, you know how to make things work. So
Right.
that all of those things are super cool.
Knowing about how to learn things is such an important skill, and knowing about, just thinking about it, something that you spend this much time on. I think it's worthwhile. There's some people in the Discord that occasionally say that it's like, oh, this isn't this discussion again. It's not worth having. And I'm like, I totally think it is though, because not metacurrency. We're fucking done with metacurrency. We're done talking about that. But other ones though, sometimes we feel like we're beating a dead horse, but it is important to know. And I think most people don't know why it is they have fun with what they have. Because there was this lie sold for many years that it's like, fun is just a thing. You shouldn't think about something that you have fun. Like, no, you super should. You only have so many years on this earth, right? And
there's so many words too. Like it can be fun, it can be enjoyable, it can just be an experience. It can be fulfilling. It can also be.
There's a lot of like movies and games that you watch and you would go, I would never watch that or play that again, but I'm glad I did because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm glad. I don't regret that 1,000 or so hours I spent in Dota 2 because it's informed how I think about games. It's informed how I interact with multiplayer games, how I interact with people in general, because once you see when people have the mask of anonymity combined with a competitive environment, people get ugly. People get mean when they're dropped in a competitive environment and my name is, ass kicker 457 and you have no idea who I am in real life. Man, I can rip into people. Wow, did you train to get that dog shit at the game? Do you do lessons, man?
A classic example of like, okay, lots of movies are out there that we watch for fun, but who picked Schindler's List as a fun movie to watch?
Come and see.
It's like, that's gonna be like great fun for the whole family.
Right.
Like, you watch the movie because it's an experience. That the curiosity of what was it like in that. I haven't seen that one since I was a teenager, so I cannot elaborate too much on it.
When I rewatched earlier this year, Gundam Stardust Memory, I watched that with my wife for the first time, and at the end of it, it's one where you're just sitting there going,
this was heavier than you remember.
Where it's like, damn, that's where it ends. Where you're like, all right, next episode, let's see the. There is no next episode. That's it. Ugh.
It had a heavy ending. Is what you're saying?
Yes, it has. It has a really heavy ending with some what some people would say are unsatisfying conclusions, but that's what the writers wanted to go with. They wanted to go with like, hey, characters fucked up enough times, and it leaves you with the message of sometimes there's not room to course correct at the end. Sometimes it's too late. And it's like, man, it's a good message. It's something that needs to be out there. Not everything can have its happy fairy tale ending.
Because that's reality. I had to log out for a bit, so I'm going to need a summary of the past 60 minutes of conversation in the bulleted list format. Just ask ChatGPT to do the list for you.
Shit. Well, hold on. No, I think I can do this.
Alexa, close down YouTube.
No. So somebody with Alexa out there is gonna. Oh shit! It's
Get wrecked.
the fucking the Dagoth mod for Skyrim. That's Alexa, add 10 pounds of bird seed to cart. Alexa, buy now.
Oh, really? Oh, that's hilarious.
There are like 3 people in the comments that are like, I actually had to fucking cancel that on my credit card, damn it. It's like, I actually overheard that.
Jarvis, show me the sky's balls.
Yeah. In summary, we talked about the differences between simulation, emulation, and the general problems with borrowing terminology from other fields and not explaining well how we're borrowing that terminology, and the need for new language to show up, which is tricky. We've already got 40,000 something words, and
yeah,
it's already hard enough inventing the 3D 4D methodology. So it's a slow, arduous process, that one, and I don't have the answers. Second, the problem with people not being on the same page as to what roleplay is, throwing around this theater kid terminology when that is demonstrably not the case. The importance of mechanics, the importance of role-playing to make the mechanics work. Because if you don't role play, a lot of stuff's going to be broken.
It's like it doesn't make sense to go through the process of the mechanical play if you ignore the role play. Because if you do, at that point, you can play the video game, you can play the board game, you can do those other activities because they specialize in achieving that.
Why would you use, the diplomacy skill becomes a hell of a lot less useful if you just always attack the kobolds on site.
Yeah.
He said it, not me. And then
I see. Yeah. I mean, look, as a socially awkward guy in his 30s, it's like fucking people are not that weird,
Right.
Most people are weird, but there's still this fucking underlying of, but kids are sacred, man. How else are we gonna survive as a species? Right. If you had a great childhood, and if you didn't have a great childhood, then you want the kids to have a great childhood. It's universal. Exactly. And people who don't, they are what is the correct word? They're psychopaths? Is that the right one?
I would say so. My wife just got home, so I'll be wrapping this up soon. The third thing, the first thing we talked about is value with your time. What you got out of the thing after you did it all, right? Not just the sheer amount of hours you got out of the thing, though that's cool too, but the value to effort to time spent ratio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You've played this campaign for 6. You've got 40 years of GMing experience. Okay, great. What do you have to show for it, right? Have you enjoyed it? If at the end of a session all your players can say is, "Well, that was fun. See you next week." Of what value were those 40 years, right? You should be able to anything that you do for enjoyment. We were talking comic books, we were talking movies, we were talking video games. You should be able to, at the end of it, at least have like a couple paragraphs to go, "Oh, I could give a shorthand review of that," right? I could break that down as to like, I know exactly what I liked about that and what I didn't like about it.
Yeah. Me and Nicholas have such a great rhythm. We've been playing for so long now. And with Conway, he was in my D&D campaign. I got to know them so well. And then role-playing with you. I mean, we've known each other through Discord. We talk, but now we get to role-play together regularly. So we have such
I miss this.
such good connections together that we can really sink our teeth into the end of the game process. These are the things I loved about the game. These were awesome. That wasn't very about me. Tell me how you thought about it. And so
noticing things I didn't even notice, where Conway was like, "You started frowning at this," and I was like, "I did." I have very expressive eyebrows, so it's not even something I noticed in the moment. So it's like, oh, cool. These guys are noticing things that I'm not noticing, And I think I was probably just frowning at the
I
description.
wonder if nobody brought it up because nobody paid attention, or they just thought it was cool. So because it's cool, you don't really have to bring it up. And I was specifically changing my posture when I'm role playing Telash to show what he's like.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I use some of the nice things about uh, having the cameras on. I briefly touched on that at the end there, since we're moving on and had to get things done. But briefly touching on the idea of you can use hand motions and just gesticulations and just sort of flavor things up and add to the.
Because it is communicating. It's like, that's acting. Is it really acting? Because I'm not just communicating to the play. It's not about communicating to the camera. Mm-hmm. It's communicating to the players of Talash's inclinations right now. He's hard, and I change how I pose. I shift my body, and I also verbalize it to give like 2 different clues about it. I roll my shoulders, but I roll my shoulders too for the camera.
And I would say it's an aspect of acting, right? Because you're not actually fighting, you're not actually walking, you're not right. We're very limited in the aspects in which we could act. Now, if at some point in the future we get like full haptic skin suits and we get to do this whole thing in VR.
But then people still wouldn't role play if they had all those fucking tools.
Right. Yeah. People still wouldn't role play. But I'm saying it might get closer to acting, right? If you can actually be throwing your punches and doing all this. But even then, here's the problem. Actors have to use stuntmen for this. We can't do that. You'd have to totally break character, cut, throw in the camera, throw in the green screen.
There was such a funny little moment of like, are there any horses here? That's hilarious. He thinks there are horses here. Yep. Dwarf says, "What's a horse?" Yeah. Just breaking everybody at the table.
How the fuck
as a player, I understand,
question, dude.
I understand, like, this is a comedic beat that I'm planting here on purpose to break you guys. But it makes it fun because we both pretend to roleplay, to stay in character, to be in the world, and try not to break is odd. Gives it a bit of spice for me.
Yeah, and it's a totally believable thing because it's like, why would the drow have horses? Why would even dwarves have horses underground? They wouldn't.
Not just that. I lived above ground too.
That too, yeah.
But it's a different continent.
Yeah, in the Mwangi Expanse, again, if you think,
in the fucking mountains.
Yeah, in the mountains, and in this region that's vaguely similar to South America. South America.
Okay, yeah.
Lots of jungle, mountainous regions like the Andes.
Like, it's almost like, I don't know, I would pick like Chile, look that up as comparison.
When the Spanish first show up with horses, the natives are going, "What the fuck is that? That's terrifying. What is that?" So it's absolutely like that. And 2, it reminded me of when I'm trying to explain it as these guys that obviously know what a horse is. I'm reminded of the first Polish encyclopedia where I can't remember the guy's name, but under horse, he just says, "Everyone knows what this is."
That's a clip. Horse. If you don't know this, you're stupid. Polish.
I don't have to.
Thanks, Poles. That's so based.
Or Diderot famously thought you could, the first guy to come up with the concept of an encyclopedia starts with like, "I think you can define everything," and he gets about 100 pages in and goes, "Damn, this is impossible."
The German approach. Let's categorize everything.
Yeah.
I see like a comment I'd like to highlight. Better speaking. That thing specifically sets me on fire. I cannot stand when people use terms like story gamer or theater kid without really understanding what they're talking about. The big problem, it's not the problem that they don't know what they're talking about. It's that they pretend to know. Right? Which makes them pretentious. Like literally what the word means. I'm pretending that I know what I'm talking about. So I will make fun of other people. It's like,
and even
if you stay a bit open to the possibilities that you don't know everything, we can talk. Because then it's like, we can have conversation. Because you're not pretending to know everything. I'm not pretending to know everything, but I have strong opinions anyways. Both things can happen at the same time.
Yep, they absolutely can. And it gets even worse when you have this happen occasionally, where people try to tell us, the guys that worked on creating this framework together,
Yeah,
what
40
3D or
roleplay.
4D is it? Oh, we've done that 4D thing. No, you haven't. It didn't exist until a couple of years ago. Don't really. Can we see it then? And then usually it's one of two things. We have the rare aspects of guys like, I am forgetting his Wonka Chunk in the Discord, who goes, "Oh, I thought what we were doing was similar to what you guys were describing, but on second gasp, it's not. What we're doing is different." Then he plays in one of our games. He's now a vetted guy, and it did a total 180. It's super cool. That is super rare.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Should be cherished.
What's usual
and celebrated.
Yep, we totally do the same thing that you guys do, and it's like, dude, really? And you develop the same thing in a total vacuum? That's so awesome. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's like saying, yeah, I know karate. It's like he went to American high school karate teacher. After the one guy is like cashing in money to take care of children on Saturdays. It's like, you can lift your leg, but you cannot kick a body. It's, type deal.
Yep. Right. Like, I had to, Conway, the brain literally blocks out the boring out of character bits and memories. I had to go back and see, wait a minute, what did you do to blind the bear that got a mechanic that was slightly wrong? Because that's not what I remembered. I remembered this awesome bear fight where you're deliberating on, like, we should go. And then all of a sudden, Talash is, like, trying to punch the thing and kick its legs out from under it. And I'm like,
I'm just busting moves, man. There's a bear. I don't have time to think. I look at my character sheet. What are my options? Stunning fist. I've got to stun the shit out of him.
And I had to go back and go, oh, yeah, it was dirty trick. That shouldn't have lasted as long as I let it last. It's not even the thing I remember. Maybe
it's the game. Is the game ruined because our characters didn't die because of that one rule?
Yeah, probably not. Because
if our characters died, if he did the rule correctly and the characters died, it would have still been cool. Both ways, it would have been memorable and amazing to play out. But the correctness of the rule didn't influence the enjoyment and the experience of the game. Well, it influenced what kind of experience, what ends up happening, but not the process of experiencing.
And it's just like it's 90% in character. You should strive to be 100% in character. Probably an impossible goal. You should strive to get 100% of the rules right, but it's probably an impossible goal. If you get 90% of the way there, phenomenal.
And I'm triggered again because we have a few people that said like, oh, 40 roleplay is so hard. It's like this impossible mountain to climb. I think it was specifically the people on Second Watch, Lord Matthias and Gary, who I forget the other part of the name. That made it well, it's their impression of it, so I don't knock them against that for what they experience. But it's like, it looks so hard and so difficult. It's like we literally make the baseline so deep that you just say where you are, what you do, and what you say. The hard part is having the discipline to stop making your stupid jokes at the table. And I say stupid not to them particularly to offend them or anything. It's like you have to restrain yourself. The rules exist to take things away so you can focus on the role play specifically. And the inspirational part is how long can you last? How deep can you be in character? How well can you express yourself to the other players? Are you using your hands? Are you using your face? Are you expressing your character? Are you having those funny beats where they discuss, is there a horse here? All the farmer guys are laughing, and you bring in the comedy beat of what is a horse. It's not because it's a comedy beat. It's in character, which blows the scene from like a cool character moment to hilarious, absolutely hilarious experience for everybody on the table.
Right.
And that's hard to juggle if you're also relaxing at the table and talking about Monday Night Football or some shit. I don't want to say like I hate football.
No, but it's
It's just like that the focus here is the role play. And 40 role play is designed to give you this low hurdle to walk over and realize, oh right, I can do that too.
It's the same as anything, right? If you're at a bar, and when I'm working the bar and it's super busy and I've got to pour 3 beers and make 2 cocktails and help somebody in the humidor, I'm not doing any one of these things super well. If you come in alone and you order an old fashioned, I can take my time and make a really damn good old fashioned. The moment you start talking with me about like, oh, what's your favorite whiskey? Now we're adding another layer of difficulty where I'm like, wait a minute, did I just pour the simple syrup in there? I can't remember. How many dashes of bitters did I just use? I just got distracted. Then we have to reframe.
Spinning plates.
I end up making it even slower. So when you spin fewer plates, when you have less of this mental stack, the mental overload of look at phone, look at meme, look at character sheet, look at so there's a Top Gear joke about and I'll end on this note because I really have to go now. But there's an old Top Gear joke where Jeremy Clarkson is going, we make fun of truckers, but it is hard work. You're having to look left, look right, check your mirror, change gear, up a gear, down a gear, hit the brakes, murder a prostitute, do coke, change gear, change gear. It's a lot. It's hard work, man. And we don't
scrambled eggs on your car's engine.
Yeah, on your tie, on your we don't want to be doing that, right? As insofar as we can. We don't want to have to be taking, a million stimulants so that we can stay awake and focus through our role play session. Let's just make it organic, right? Let's cut it down to what it needs to be and nothing it doesn't need to be. And that doesn't always mean cutting the mechanics out. But beat a dead horse on that. Thanks for yakking with me, Zonor. That was a good
You're welcome.
Yeah, of course. Sorry to have to cut it off so short, but
no, absolutely. Look, I always have another thought to add because those moments are a bit rare for me.
Yeah.
And I look on Discord, it's like, oh man, this Maya is like organizing talks with all those cool, awesome guys. No, I'm not invited. Right. It's like but they all do it all in America. It's like I'm not staying up for 3 in the morning.
That my schedule in general going forward is back to some form of fucking normalcy. But my life has been shambles for the past couple of months without diving too far into it.
You're holding it up. You're keeping it together.
I'm trying to keep it put together. So, yeah. Thank you, Elf Hunter. Thanks to everybody who watches the VOD. God forbid you listen to our name.
Absolutely. Nicholas, Conway, Bacon. Yeah. We had Chi-Funk in here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, my gosh. New joiner to the Discord, but frequent commenter here. NeoCal. I don't know why I forgot your name. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys.